So we are going to talk about multiple classes here, programming with multiple classes, designing with multiple classes. So let's look at this class called course. A course represents a course in a university. So it has a course as an ID like ICS 372, a name such as object-oriented design and implementation. Number of credits might be 4. Description could be the catalog description. So when you create a course, you write code like new course and then ICS 372 as the first parameter for course ID and name such as object-oriented design and implementation, and they would be stored. You could store the description, blah, 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 all that stuff. So that is the concept of a course. It doesn't have to be offered. There need not be any sections of a certain course in a given semester. There could be many sections, etc. So this is something that exists within the catalog. So try to remember that because we are going to switch to the whiteboard in a few minutes. So we have all these extra methods in the course. Now, we have a second class called section. A section is something that is offered in a specific semester. For example, this fall this semester we are having ICS 372 offered. So the semester could be the semester name, the name of the semester, whatever semester it is. The place is where it is going to be held, perhaps online, or perhaps if it is in a lecture hall, that on what day, at what time. And then every section is a manifestation of a certain course. So for which course is this section existing? That is what we have as the fourth field here. Look at the type. It is not string or int or anything that you find in the Java language. It is something that we created, the course class that we created. So this is a reference, just like days and times or place or semester, but instead of referring to a string object, this is referring to a course object. So when you create a course, we when we create a section, we specify the course object and then the semester, the place, and times at which the course is offered. So those things are stored in the corresponding fields. And there are these, you could have these additional methods. So this is how we would be creating a course and section for that course. CS350 is a course object. So CS350, the name is data structures, and we create a section of it using the course object. We will get to this in a second. So let's switch to the whiteboard here. So let's look at this particular situation. We have two courses. Course 1 is this course. It has the name CS350. It is 4 credits. I didn't include more attributes here. I didn't put more attributes here because it gets really cluttered. There is a second course, course 2. It is CS380 for 3 credits. And there are 2 sections here, offered fall 2018 and spring 2019 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays respectively. And they are both for CS350. So we have 2 objects sitting here. So all these rectangles are objects. So CS350 is, or this particular rectangle here for CS350 represents 1 object. This represents section S1. This represents section S2. And here, to make clear that this is the section for CS350, we store the reference to this object over here. So we have this arrow coming from S1, this object for fall 2018, referring to the course object, course 1, that is the CS350. Same deal here, S2 is having a reference to CS350. Then there are 3 section objects and they all correspond to CS380. You can see that I have put arrows from each one of these. So what it means is these 3 objects are storing the references to CS380. And they are references S3, S4, S5. So this is a scenario. At this point in time, I have 2 course objects, 2 sections for CS350, 3 sections for CS380, and each one of these sections refers to the corresponding course object. So when you are within a section, when you get a section, you can immediately tell which course it is. You can print the course ID or the course credits, for example. What we saw in the previous diagram was a particular scenario, right? We had 2 courses and some sections for each one of those courses. So as far as we are concerned as a design issue, is that there is a class called course and a class called section. We know that a course can have multiple sections. So we show this using a UML diagram where we draw a rectangle for representing course, the course class, and a second rectangle for representing the section class, and draw a line from course to section with a little diamond here that I have darkened to mean that the whole thing means that a course can have multiple sections. And I should probably put a little explanation here, something like can have. So this is a relationship. A course can have multiple sections. How can I tell that? Look at these 2 things. 1 here on this side and star on the other side of this line. So this is an association between course and section. The name of the relationship is can have, and I have put 1 here meaning 1 course and star here meaning 0 or more. So 1 course can have 0 or more relationship or sections. This is called a one-to-many relationship. There are some places where you can have many-to-many relationships. That is, you can have, for example, between, say, books and members of a library. A member can check out multiple books, and the same book could possibly be taken by, be issued to multiple members if you have multiple copies. Or another example would be between sections and students. Let's draw that here. That is a more obvious example. So if you have a class called student, oops, sorry, so suppose we have a class called student, then we can relate these 2 by writing a section can hold multiple students and multiple students can, a student can be in multiple sections. So we write like this. It's a many-to-many relationship. And what do you want to call this relationship? Maybe something like takes. if from the viewpoint of the student, student takes sections and indirectly they take courses, right? By enrolling in or enrolls in, maybe a better, maybe an alternative. Yeah. So here I put star, star meaning this is many to many. A section can have multiple students and the same student could take multiple sections. Of course, possibly of different courses usually. You could also have one-to-one relationship where you only have one thing associated in both ways.